So the Office of the Director of National Intelligence earlier today released a declassified version of its report on election hacking and, of course, Russia intentions. Now, it concludes that Vladimir Putin ordered an effort to try and damage Hillary Clinton, all in an attempt to influence the election. However, now this is key. The report found no evidence that actual votes were tampered with, and it did not assess if there was an impact on the outcome of the election. Now, President-elect Trump, he was briefed on the classified version of the report earlier today, and afterwards he put out a statement saying that his meeting with Intel officials was constructive, and he added, quote, "There was absolutely no effect on the outcome of the election, including the fact that there was no tampering whatsoever with the voting machines." Now, the president-elect is also saying tonight that, unlike President Obama, he will actually do something to fix this problem by appointing a team to come up with a plan to fight and to stop future cyber attacks. Now, Vice President-elect Mike Pence, he elaborated on this plan. This is earlier tonight. Let's take a look.
President-elect has made it very clear that we're going to take aggressive action in the early days of our new administration to combat cyber attacks and protect the security of the American people from this type of intrusion in the future.
Now, also earlier today, before his briefing, President-elect Trump, he called out Democrats for trying to undermine his presidency by telling the New York Times, quote, "China, relatively recently, they hacked over 20 million government names. How come nobody ever talks about that? This is a political witch hunt." And Mr. Trump, by the way, is highlighting how for the past 8 years, President Obama has all but ignored cybersecurity threats. Quote, "With all that being said, I don't want countries to be hacking our country. They've hacked the White House. They've hacked Congress. We're like the hacking capital of the world." Now, President-elect Trump, he's absolutely right. And as we told you about this last night, the president, the Democrats, they have been asleep at the wheel when it comes to cybersecurity. Now, take a look at the countless major cybersecurity attacks on the federal government that has all happened since 2009 when Obama became president. And there's much more. The Democrats are pumping up this intel report as the smoking gun that proves Russian interference in this election was a big reason why Donald Trump won. But what the left and, of course, the corrupt alt-left liberal media won't tell you about the report and what's in it, it contains evidence about Russia trying to meddle in U.S. elections going all the way back to 2008. And that's not all. NBC News is reporting that the classified version shows that Russian hackers, they targeted the White House, the State Department, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and American companies. So why all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this has been going on the entire Obama presidency, is hacking now such a pressing issue? This once again just proves that the only reason President Obama and the Democrats care now about cybersecurity is because they need an excuse to explain why Hillary Clinton lost. Now, the sore losers, snowflake, left wing, they can whine all they want, but the truth is they can only blame themselves and their gross negligence on cybersecurity for this election hacking. Now, take a look at Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman. You see him there, John Podesta? Now, the reason his emails were accessed was because of a typo in a reply from a campaign IT staffer about a phishing email that Podesta received. He gave them the information. Now, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange, he told me earlier this week that security from Podesta's email was so laughably inadequate that a 14-year-old could have hacked into it. And then, of course, there's Hillary Clinton. Remember her private email server that they didn't want to talk about? Remember that was stored in a mom-and-pop shop bathroom closet? Does that sound secure to you? Of course not. Now, Clinton's setup was so careless that the FBI is 99% sure that up to 5 foreign intelligence agencies accessed it. And then you have the DNC. Remember, Fox News learned that after the political party was hacked, they didn't give the FBI direct access to its servers and its data. So the FBI was forced to rely on a third party to try and figure out what happened. And the New York Times has reported that when the FBI first called DNC staffers to alert them of a possible cyber attack, they thought it was a prank call. They did nothing. And when the FBI kept calling and calling and calling for weeks following, well, the DNC continued to fail to act and address the problem. So do the Democrats, who are now feigning selective moral outrage here. If you would have just done your job and fixed the hacking problem that you knew about back in 2008 and 2009, right in front of your face for years, this never would have happened.